Hi, this is Brian David Marshall coming to you from Pro Tour Austin at the Tournament Center. I'm here with Conley Woods, PT Honolulu top 4 competitor, and we are just done with the first leg of Extended at Pro Tour Austin. Conley, how you doing so far today?
3-1-1. A little disappointing because I felt like I could have gotten 4 wins out of that, but I'll take it.
So coming into this tournament, you were working with a small group of players for this event.
Yeah.
What was your expectation about the Extended field?
Well, we knew the big deck, at least amongst the top echelon of pros, was Dark Depths.
And that's what most of your team ended up playing,
Yeah,
correct?
4 of the 5 ended up playing. I was testing this deck and kind of like the matchup against Dark Depths was a little bad, but against everything else I had really good matchups.
So this is the Markov cocktail.
Courtesy of BDM.
Deck name only. So you've definitely come to this tournament with a deck that does not look like an arrangement of 75 cards that anyone else was expecting this weekend.
Yes, I agree with that.
So explain to me how this deck works, or what its goals are in the standard matchups.
All right, so
and
I was
Extended.
working on, early in the season, I was working on Martyr lists, and we tried like idyllic tutor packages and things like that, and we just couldn't get any games actually finished. Like, we had infinite life, we had infinite time, but we couldn't actually put a game away. So we tried things like Mindslaver locking people, but then you have to add Academy Ruins, and it gets really ugly. Eventually stumbled upon Planeswalkers. We originally had 3 Ajani Vengeance in here. We cut one actually for a Ranger because we figured hitting Rangers against aggro is usually better than hitting Vengeance, but Vengeance better against like control and stuff. And then the spicy card, I guess, is Sorin Markov. He's effectively your big finisher, like amazing in any type of mirror match, of course, because they go from 150 to 10 in one shot. Any type of life gain stuff like that.
Walk us through the abilities on Sorin Markov and why this card was is so good in the two, basically against aggro and against control.
Yeah. So his first ability is the Vicious Hunger / Dousing Gloom, whatever, but it also hits players. So the good thing there is the +2 though, because you shoot him up out of range like immediately. Like putting him at 6 counters is really difficult to deal with. He kills a lot of things, like I've dealt with like Meddling Mages, Kitchen Finks, just killing players, doing 2 damage. Then you have the second ability, which drops people to 10 life. So I haven't actually had to use that ability yet. I had some players at like 35 and I debated it, but usually if you just ramp them up with the +2 ability, you're eventually going to Mindslaver them with his last ability anyway. And then at that point, the game's pretty much over. One time I had to double Mindslaver a Dredge player to actually finish the game off, but it was pretty much in hand for most of the game.
So now in that game, you actually used the ability on the same. You played him, you got him up above 7,
yeah, got him up
used
to 8,
it, built him up again.
Built him up to 9, used it again.
But there's another game today where you actually played Sorin Markov 3 separate times. How did you do that?
So we have Mistveil Plains in the deck, which it's been tried in Martyr before. Usually it's not too good because you're getting stuff back like Lightning Helix or Wrath of God, and you don't really have a way to win. But when you have Planeswalkers, you just, they die, they get whatever, O-ring, you O-ring, their O-ring, things like that. And then you eventually, like, once the attrition war is over with, once their hand's empty, you just put them back on the bottom of your library, crack a fetch land, hope to draw them again. Like, you still have plenty of time, so and we have Phyrexian Arenas, of course, to draw some extra cards and get us there a little bit faster. But the deck's just built around just getting so much time. And on top of those win conditions, we have Kagemaro, which with Emeria, the land that returns him from his graveyard, you end up with like this 7/7 crashing in every turn that just happens to like kill their guys in the process. I've actually gotten out of Iona locks by an Iona plus the Imposter and play naming white and black, because you just get up to 8 mana, you discard them, you Miriam him back, and then you give him everything -7/7. So he's kind of handy in the deck in an alternate win condition.
So a lot of players, when they see Martyr of Sands, they immediately look for Proclamation of Rebirth.
Yeah, well, like,
it's not here.
No, because it's just such a bad card to draw early, and Emeria is just better because you're making mana out of it. And I mean, occasionally you cast a Proclamation to get like 3 Martyrs back, but at that point you might as well just draw another Ranger or something. Emeria is just so much better. You don't have to tap 6 mana, and you effectively need 1 more mana to get it active. It's just infinitely better. One big card that we did add was Castigate, which hasn't seen play since Standard back in the day. And it just improves the control matchups. You take their Cryptic Command, because you get around their mana leaks and spell snares pretty well. You just take their Cryptic Command just to resolve one of your Planeswalkers and get in there. Really good against Hypergenesis and combo decks, etc. It gets around Chalice for 1, which is somewhat annoying for this deck, but we have O-Rings as well. It's a little forward.
How's Ghostly Prison been for you? That seems like an amazing card against the Zoo matchups.
Yeah, it's really good against Zoo. It's not as good against Zoo as it is against Affinity and Dredge, though. Game 1, that actually makes your Dredge matchup about 50-50, which is pretty impressive for against Dredge, because a single Ghostly Prison, they can't combo off that to get Grave Controls back. And against Zoo, they have to choose whether to Lightning Helix you in a turn or attack in with multiple Nakatos, stuff like that. So it just buys you a bunch of time. And then against Affinity, it's even better because you bring in Ghost Quarters, and then you start hitting their lands, and then they have no lands to pay for whatever. And like if you ever get like 2 or 3 down, it's just embarrassing for the other players.
So what have you been doing with yourself since your Honolulu top 4?
Just finishing up school a little bit. Did pretty well at Nationals. Not so well at Grand Prix Boston. But looking to get my level up there a little bit with the rest of the season.
Yeah, what's your goal for the rest of the season?
I'd like to make level 6. I need 7 points on top of the auto points. So between this and Grand Prix Tampa Bay and Worlds, I'm hoping to get 7 points. It's a little bit of a goal, but not unreachable. So.
Excellent. All right, well, this is Brian David Marshall signing off for Conley Woods from the Tournament Center. We'll be back with more action from Pro Tour Austin.